Live from the BBC, asylum seekers can stay at hotel in Epping after government wins appeal. Well, twist my nipples and call me Frank. I didn't see that coming, did I? What did I post yesterday? These are the judges, radical activists assessing the Epping case. Justice Bean, who once edited a far-left manifesto for the Society of Labour Lawyers. Justice Nicola Davies, a Labour-voting feminist. And Justice Cobb, who wanted to overturn Brexit. Their ruling is due tomorrow. Yeah, if you didn't see this one coming, you wouldn't notice while at breakfast with the family, a 6'4" Somalian man strolling into your kitchen, pulling out a hammer and then nailing his scrotum to your kitchen table for the purposes of his own sexual gratification. It was so obvious, it's not even a story, it's boring, but what else are we going to talk about, eh? Right then, before I jump into it and have a bit of a rant, just one side note, because Sue shared this story with me and it's good. Anonymous lady who got in touch with me about a camp being set up. At the time, I had a few people dismissing it, saying it was just some local lads camping out. Well, turns out it's not. Of course it's not. It's a big bunch of dodgy foreigners. I bet you never saw that coming, did you? So they're even in the woods now. They've took over all the hotels. It's like the teddy bear's picnic, but shit. If you go down to the woods today, you better go in disguise. 'Cause there's 20 hairy-arsed Somalis with big googly eyes. And don't tell me they haven't all got googly eyes. They come off a production line. As I said, they're like clones. Like they almost went extinct back in the day. There was one left, and then God used some mad science to repopulate the entire country just using one of them. Like a germ, self-dividing. Let's talk about the story then, shall we? As you all might have expected, a load of asylum seekers, all of them men, by the way, every single one of them a hairy-ass geezer. 140 of them were staying at the Bell Hotel and they were ordered to leave, but senior judges overturned another court's decision. Of course they did, because they're not judges, they're activists. As I keep telling you, the British state isn't sovereign anymore. The British state side with foreign men. Their right to live in England, paid for by the taxpayer, increasing the risks to your women and children, your wives and mothers and children and daughters and sons. Their right to do that trumps your right to not have them move in, spend all your money and roger your granny. Marvellous. And trust me when I tell you, it will boil your piss. In its successful appeal, the Home Office and the hotel argued removing the men could damage the asylum accommodation system. Oh, boo-hoo. The hotel has been at the centre of protests and counter-protests in recent weeks after a migrant sexually assaulted a teenage girl. We're not making this stuff up, are we? And fellow left-wing activist Dominic Casciani is desperate to unpack the claims about the role of the European Convention of Human Rights. Come on then, Dominic, lash me up, son. The Home Secretary is under a duty imposed by our Parliament to prevent asylum seekers from becoming destitute, meaning sleeping rough on the streets. This was passed to ensure that ministers don't ignore the challenges of global movements of people, which began to accelerate towards the end of the century. Yeah. So you can be homeless and destitute. The government's not under any rules or regulations to ensure that you, or a homeless veteran, a man who fights for his country who was born and raised in England for 28 generations of his family, he goes destitute. There's no duty to stop them being covered in shit and sleeping in a Dixon's doorway. No, none. But you can't allow a foreign man, a fighting-age foreign man who just rocks up willy-nilly, you can't allow him to be destitute because of the rules. F*** the rules. Fold the rules up into a tiny little square and push the rules up your dirt box. Bell end in a wig. This is ridiculous. Farage says the ruling shows illegal migrants have more rights than Britons. Yes, because Farage is right again, as usual. And the director of the charity Migrant Voice says she is relieved following the Court of Appeal's ruling. The alternative was setting a dangerous precedent which was emboldened the far right, says Nazek Ramalam. Oh yeah, I'm sure she's mega impartial. And the Conservative Epping councillor's deeply disappointed because he's an idiot and he actually thought the legal process was going to work for him. And then Kemi dogshit's flapping her gums and saying nothing useful. I have to admire her steadfast refusal to get her teeth fixed though. Christ on a bike, you could fit a £2 coin between the gap in her front teeth. So my blood's boiling today, Sargon of Akkad had an interesting back and forth with that big fat lefty, James Lindsay. And he was arguing, trying to make out like, oh, Israel's allowed a homeland because they have to have special treatment. How come they're the only people that are allowed a homeland? This court case proves what I've said all along. My nemesis, Philip Rutnam, yeah, remember, he's top of my list. Him, the activist foreigner packed Home Office, the judges, the lawyers, the Houses of Parliament, the House of Lords. We're not a sovereign people. England is not ran for the English, by the English. We have a hostile state that has actively ruled here, saying that 130 foreign fighting men are not allowed to be homeless. We have to house them. You're allowed to be homeless. I'm allowed to be homeless. I only did 5 tours of duty for the Royal Marines. I'm allowed to be homeless. But Iqbal Rafiq is definitely not allowed to be homeless, even if he rogers your kids while they're at the park. Yeah, they can catch him pulling himself off next to the swings while your little 5-year-old's trying to play on him. Yeah, they're trying to play on him. He's playing with himself, and they will side with him every time. And lo and behold, every day there's another story proving that the activist state hates you and loves the foreign man. Because what's up on Twitter today? Channel Migrant, who sexually assaulted teenage girl with special needs in broad daylight, is jailed for 14 months. 14 months. Think of that. 14 months. Sam Mellier put out politely worded stickers and he got 3 years for it. This fella gets 40. He'll be out in 6 for diddling a special need. I mean, surely the sentence should be worse if you're a downy diddler. I mean, this is unbelievable. An Eritrean downy diddler gets treated with kid gloves. This is an outrage. So again, there's no point trying to make jokes about this one. It's just appalling. It's ludicrous. If there was any justice at all, he would be getting wired to an electric lazy boy with about 2,000 of his mates. It's unbelievable. The state hates you. These guys have special rules and regulations, but you have none. He's not allowed to be homeless, even if he's just covered a wheelchair-bound child in baby batter. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Get angry. Get to that march in September. Make your voices heard to the scum that lords it over you. But that's just what I think. If you think having 140 unvetted hairy-ass men living next to your house would be a fantastic thing, well, please let me know in the comments. And then put your money where your mouth is, yeah? And tell the wife and kids to go for a stroll past that hotel they're all in, 7 days a week. You know, take the dog out, past the hotels in Epping, because you're convinced they're all nice people. Yeah, love that. But please, don't come back and whinge at me when your missus ends up with a minge like a gutted fireplace, all right? Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.